US intelligence says we are days or weeks away from the Ukraine being invaded, and it does appear that Russian forces now have the country pretty much encircled. Boris Johnson heads off today on a frantic round of diplomacy, and the same can be said of the French president, the German chancellor, and various leading US politicians. Every effort is being made to persuade Putin not to invade. Sanctions are being threatened. That gets thrown back at us. They say they couldn't care less. But actually, there is something Boris Johnson can do that I think would lead to peace. And it's very, very simple. Ever since the Berlin Wall came down, we, as British governments successively, have supported the policy of the European Union and NATO expanding ever eastwards. I've got to tell you, I've been nervous about this policy ever since 1990. Now, think back to 2014, when the current real trouble started in Ukraine. A democratically elected leader was brought down in a coup, mercifully a bloodless one, but a coup. And standing there in the square in Kiev were members of the public waving European Union flags. The place had been flooded with pre-accession aid. Everybody wanted the Ukraine to join the EU, including British prime ministers. So in many ways, expansion of the European Union helped spark much of this off. And now everybody insists that if Ukraine wants to join NATO, it can. Boris Johnson, our defense minister, the Americans, the French, the Germans, everyone is saying this. Hang on a second. What possible interest is it of ours? How does it help us if a very deeply divided, unstable country joins NATO? What possible benefit is there to our country in this happening? Well, the answer is none. Yes, we can help Ukraine. Yes, we can give military equipment, expertise, but Ukraine joining NATO is madness. No one dares say this because it's been the orthodoxy for decades that NATO and the EU should expand. If Boris Johnson can, in the next 48 hours, persuade the French, the Germans, the Americans that actually NATO has expanded as far as it needs to, you then take away from Putin his one reason, his one excuse, if you like, that he's got to mount this attack. And actually, so mad is the policy of NATO expansion, you might have noticed last week, it's driven Putin into the arms of the Chinese Communist Party. Just how strategically idiotic can we be? This is the one best shot we've got at making peace. And do you know something? I'll be called an appeaser. I'll be told I'm backing down to Vladimir Putin, but I'm not. We're giving him what he wants, and it's not in our interests for Ukraine to join anyway. And I'd really urge the Prime Minister this very morning to think hard and fast. NATO has expanded enough. If we take away Putin's reason for war, I think there'll be peace.
Thank you for watching this video. Now, to make sure you don't miss any future videos, please click the subscribe icon and the notification bell. Until next time, when I give you another story that mainstream media dare not cover.